Pirate Postal here. Today we're taking out the Horten 229 because Wargaming has a special on them, and you probably want to know what's up with them. So, what is this plane? It is a Tier 8 German light fighter, technically. In-game, though, you're going to want to take this against heavy fighters, you're going to want to take it against bombers, and you're going to want to take it against, to a lesser extent, GAs. Reason being? The reason being. Well, that's because it turns like a bus. And it's not that bad, but it's like one of the least maneuverable light fighters at this tier. As you'll see me probably get stuck in a stupid situation sometime in this battle. And trying to outturn somebody that I should try to outturn. I should never try to get into a turn fight with another fighter. The only time I'll stick with a fighter is going to be if it's these air defense aircraft, because they're not the best, smartest things in the world. And you can typically turn with even the light fighters. So what the heck are these frickin' weapons going on here? Well, in case you don't know anything about the Horten, which is what I'm assuming as I speak, you have two 30mm cannons on the front of this. Not really centralized, not really on the wings, they're just kind of in the middle. Which is why they can be really frustrating versus fighters, because they'll kind of go to the left and to the right of fighters. But what they are good at is hitting, big old fat everythings. Got very good range on them, but like all 30mm cannons, they tend to overheat pretty quickly. I don't tend to hold down the trigger very often on these, unless there's a plane like coming at me or about to get out of my turning radius. And then I'll just kind of hold it down to be able to make sure, see if I can try to get some hits. I will typically tap the heck out of these and go from there. Definitely want to make sure that you're aiming really far out. See, just even slight maneuvering can cause issues with this plane's ability to hit targets. Yeah, guy's in a vampire. Vampires can be ridiculous against this plane. Just because they've got the burst speed to be able to kind of stick with you. He's not sticking with me, which is pretty nice. Let's go ahead and get our guns on target here. Definitely need to be mindful of that guy. Where the hell he's at? No! Come on. Dang it! Oh, finally. Phew! Come on now. Oh, dude, I was gonna say, has nobody caught this sector? So being 30mm cannons, like, you just gotta be ready to be frustrated, right? Just let it, man, I'm going so fast my plane will not turn. Our boost on here, we've got something coming after us. Nothing that's going to actually stick with me, so that's good. Probably want to try to get that J-21 as quickly as possible. The reason I don't like going for ground attack planes as so much in this plane is because one mismaneuver and you're stuck in the ground because this plane can't, the Horten 229 cannot turn very well, right? And so, being down this close to the ground can certainly cause issues in that regard. We'll defend the hell out of this sector, though. Obviously, the 30mm cannons certainly take chunks out of frickin' enemies. No harm there. Tap. Gotta be mindful of that multi-roll. Really do need to always have your finger ready to boost. It's basically what it's going to come down to. Nope, not going to the center. I'm going to keep on defending at this point. There we go. So see, I hold down the trigger right then as I'm about to lose the ability to keep my guns on target. I might as well fire anyway. Kind of situation. Boosting anyway. Let's get our boost on. Just mega boost at this point. And no, my engine's not out. So now I am dead. Now I am truly dead. Well, except maybe not. Wondering if this, come on engines, come back up. Thank you. I-220 if he wanted to kill me. It's funny how the bots are. So I've had bots, you know, chase me halfway across the world for no particular reason, and then he just kind of gave up after a minute. So I'm turning with this Tempest, which isn't really a smart thing to do, to be honest, but I'm doing it anyway. Let's move away from that guy. We'll move to the key. You obviously never want to head on a key. If you're in a light fighter, you don't want to head on a Horten 229. But if you're in a heavy plane, like, there's not, it doesn't do enough damage per second to actually be scary for a heavy plane. There we go. Okay, coming towards me. Doesn't seem like it. Alright. Now obviously I've flown this plane quite a bit, so I'm kind of used to the guns. That's a misnomer. I'm used to the guns, and yet I still have issues, right? So if you don't play 30mm cannon kind of setups well, if you don't enjoy them, you're gonna hate this plane. It's just like, you know, kind of ridiculous when it comes to how well or poorly these guns actually fire and hit. Let's get this guy. We got a heavy fighter inbound. Go. Flip a dip, man. No. Got another heavy fighter inbound. None of my shots hit. Oh, I guess they actually did. They just didn't sound. Because obviously that guy's missing some hit points. I'm avoiding the vampire, as you may or may not notice. Shit. Might not be the best tactic here. Get some good hits on that guy. Guess I need to go get me a vampire. If I can. He's right below me. Go. Let's go down and get him. Maybe. Gotta get what's in front of me first, I suppose. Boost away. Turn around. Damn, got me. Oh, the frickin' J-21 got me. That sucks. There's game. We just lost because I'm frickin' stupid. Man, oh man, not paying. The one time I'm not paying attention to the map. Oh well. So yeah, the vampire just stuck in the center. So my tactic was to get the rest of the sectors. And I should have just stuck with that tactic, I guess. I could have done it pretty easily. Instead, got myself into a freaking ridiculous dogfight, and I'm really frustrated with myself right now, and I will try not to cuss. Anyway. So, and yeah, I know that. Like, you stay out of freaking, like, you kind of play this like you would how I play a lot of multi-rolls, in that you don't get yourself stuck in a situation where you're taking on more than one or two airplanes at a time, right? All you're going to do is set yourself up for failure, because one of the planes is going to be able to outspeed you, or you're going to try to outmaneuver something, which I could have done. In that situation, I would have been able to get my guns on target quick enough, but there was too many other, factors going on there. So, yeah, we lost that game because of me. I should have stayed and just gone over and got the garrisons. Like, this plane can get garrisons like no big deal, right? Yeah, really frustrated with myself there. Let's head back. All right, so this battle. Take deep breaths, Postal. It's fine. You're allowed to lose. It did pretty well, honestly, in my opinion. I just failed at my overall strategy. So, this does show the strengths and the weaknesses of this plane, right? You do have a lot of speed, but you're not, like, overpowered on speed. You do have really strong guns, but the guns are definitely not overpowered. You can see how many times... I wish it would show, like, how many shots I fired. Like World of Tanks is how many shots fired, how many penetrations. I wish it like, showed how many times I fired here, because it would show you that I, missed a hell of a lot of shots. And, I didn't really support Captain as much as I should have. And, Growberry, sure, I guess that's his name. Cool. I hopefully didn't mess that up too bad. Did a good job by, yeah, he basically had an ace. He's stuck there in the center, bounced out and came back to the center. Or maybe even just stayed in the center the whole time. I don't know. Oh, I did get a coasted up. Good on him. So, yeah, he literally just nom-nom-nommed everybody that came in the center there. Now I'm in a specialized vampire. Vampires can be a real pain in the butt to a Horten because they do, although they've got slightly less altitude performance, they've got, especially specialized vampires, which most of them are, have the ability to, really boost up and stick with you for sure. Never take a vampire lightly. Really, any of the fast tier 8 fighters, you don't want to take lightly. It's funny, the heavies are not really an issue for this plane, other than if you're not paying attention and you get hit by a heavy, you will feel it in this plane. But otherwise, they're not really typically an issue. All right, so enough talk about this gameplay, right? Is this plane, good enough to get worth the purchase? I'm gonna say no. For 95% of the people out there, it's not. I'm not sure. So luckily, I won this plane way back in the day. I don't know. Even though I like it, I'm not sure. Well, no, I take it back. I would not pay $55 for this plane, which is the bare minimum bundle for this plane. This paint setup, and it comes with some other stuff, the supply crate. I don't even know what else. The bundle that comes with this paint is $62 US, $61.32. It's just not worth it. If I'm gonna recommend anybody spending $55 on this game, which, it's your money, do it as to your discretion. There's much better $55 planes out there. The Vampire that I'm talking about, that's a free plane if you don't mind, spending half your life grinding it, or using a hell of a lot of tokens on the Vampire. And I know I used a hell of a lot of tokens on the Vampire. Get the Vampire. The Vampire is better than this plane, especially when you specialize it, which of course you will. And they both are in the same kind of dealio. This plane's roll is different than the Vampire, of course. This plane should be up higher. This plane should be going... The Horten should be going for bombers. The Horten should be going for heavy fighters. The Horten should stay high whenever possible. But you're going to be put into situations where you have to come down low from time to time. You got to zoom and boom. I did not do very much booming in this game. I played it pretty poorly in my interaction against the enemy fighter. So hopefully, you learn some lessons from that. Yeah. So, yeah, that's just my opinion, though. If you want this plane, if you're good with 30mm cannons, a J8M is another plane that's got 30mm cannons. I listed off what J8M, LA-160, the Swift, the FW-252, the Key 162s. There might be another plane that has just two 30mm cannons. If you're good with any of those planes, you might be good with this plane. Remember, this plane does not have the maneuverability of the majority of those planes I just listed off. It really flies more like a heavy plane than it does like a light fighter. So definitely keep that in mind if you're going to be dropping any kind of money on this plane. Yeah. So Is it fun? It's a lot of fun for me, but I don't get overly frustrated by my missed shots. Even if it causes me to lose a game, I remember that it is just a game. I've been frustrated in the past, but, you know, I've woosah'd enough and I'm over it kind of thing. So if you get frustrated by your guns not hitting all the time, you will not like this plane at all. If you get frustrated by, you know, being stuck in a situation that you need to do some sort of maneuvering and it's not maneuvering very well, you're probably not going to like this plane. Key, though, is keep yourself out of situations where you need to maneuver. And really try to avoid any kind of hits, because once your engines are knocked out, you're dead, right? You're toast. So anyway, I hope this was helpful. I hope this showed you the capabilities of this plane. I've had some ridiculously good games on this plane. I've had some real stinkers too. Yeah. So anyway, thanks for joining me. Do you agree with my assessment? If you have the Horten, am I given the right perspective on the plane? If you don't have the Horten, are you gonna buy the plane? Do you think it's something for you? I'll definitely help out if you happen to buy the Horten and you want some additional tips and tricks. Just reach out to me. I'll be happy to pass them along to you. And yeah, that's about it, I suppose. Otherwise, have a great day. Revel in my defeat, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.